Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Breslin Center here at Michigan State University, where in a stunning upset, Indiana, which had been reeling, recently announced Coach Mike Woodson would not be returning. Those Hoosiers, with all of that drama going on, pulled off a 71-67 upset over the number 11 ranked team in the country. The Hoosiers went to a 2-3 zone that was very effective. Malik Renew came off the bench, 19 points, 12 rebounds. Umar Ballo had a double-double as well with 14 points, 12 rebounds, and overall just kind of like a stunning result for the Hoosiers. Jeff Rabjohns, Trevor Andershock from Peegs.com here with you. Trevor, kind of what were the things that stood out to you the most from this one?
Like you said, the switch to the 2-3 zone has to be, the number one key of this game. It totally changed everything, stopped what Michigan State wanted to do. Michigan State is not a good three-point shooting team. The 2-3 zone forced them to take a lot of outside shots, worked exactly right into Indiana's favor. Thought that was basically the full story. You throw in Umar Ballo's first half play, Malik Renew in that key second half stretch where he scored 9 points in about 2.5 minutes to really, give IU a cushion down the stretch. Then Mackenzie Mbako and Anthony Leal make some free throws late to ice it. But I thought the 2-3 zone was the story of the game. Simple. I mean, it was not a great 2-3 zone. The first half, Michigan State was getting open threes. Chase Richardson and Jaden Atkins just could not make a shot. Second half, they weren't even really getting those threes. So I don't know what adjustments Michigan State tried to make, but on the court, they looked totally confused and baffled by the 2-3 zone.
They really did. I'm laughing because it's almost, there's a little bit of irony here. There's a little bit of just, you have to shake your head. That's Hall of Famer Tom Izzo over there. His opponents playing the standard 2-3 zone, and they look like they've never seen it before. But Indiana did a really good job. The staff gets a lot of credit. It was interesting talking to Mike Woodson after the game. He mentioned that Jim Todd, who's one of his consultants and has been a consultant for IU during Mike Woodson's tenure, Jim Todd was with Mike Woodson when Woodson coached the Knicks back in 2010. Woody liked man-to-man, didn't like zone, all that kind of stuff. Jim Todd convinced Woodson, got to play 2-3 in Game 7 when the New York Knicks were playing the Milwaukee Bucks. Knicks ended up winning that Game 7, 90-something to like 95-72, won in dominating fashion. That won Mike Woodson a playoff series. He said that he and Jim Todd were talking about some things, and he said it was a team effort, but he did give Jim Todd a lot of credit for the conversations about the zone. And he also said they kind of made the decision earlier and had a couple of days to work on it, so they were really ready. He mentioned that they'd messed with it a little bit during the Michigan game, but he did give Jim Todd a lot of credit for that.
To kind of dive a little bit deeper into it, when they started putting that 2-3 zone early in the game, Michigan State was still getting offensive rebounds, still scoring, while IU switched that defense. IU ended up, eliminating those offensive boards, eliminating those second chance points. I think that was another step in IU getting that victory today.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Indiana was able to rebound, keep Michigan State from significant points on the offensive glass. They also kept them from really getting their transition game going much at all. So yeah, I agree with you. The 2-3 zone is the story of the game. That's the headline. Indiana goes 2-3 zone. Michigan State can't figure it out. IU pulls off a stunner on the road against the number 11 ranked team in the country at a time when, the backdrop is all set. The champagne is there. I don't mean really, but, it's one of those things where you're waiting for a coronation. Tom Izzo tied with Bob Knight for the most all-time coaching victories in the Big Ten. Everybody here was ready. Mark D'Antoni was here. Steve Mariucci was here. There were some other people. And everybody in Michigan State was waiting for a coronation. Yeah. Indiana came in and went 2-3 zone and completely spoiled it. As far as, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, to kind of play off that, when IU went up, 9 points pretty late after a new stretch, the Breslin Center was completely shocked. You could just sense it that they did not see this coming. There was no energy left in the building, and the fans just had no idea what to do. It was a really surreal moment there when IU took that, I think it was 61-52 lead.
Yeah.
and there was a timeout, and the place was just completely dead.
Yeah. As far as individual performances for Indiana, I would start with Malik Renew. I thought he was really, really good. Talking to him after the game, he said, "Hey," they took basically, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, "Coach told me I wasn't going to start." I said, "Okay, no problem. Whatever you need me to do, I'm going to be ready." And he was really ready. 19 points, 12 rebounds, and like you said, 9 of his points came in about 2.5 minutes, 2:45, something like that. I used up 2. He scores 9. There was a Trey Galloway fast break dunk in there. But that stretch, and Renew also had that and one that was a part of his 9 points in less than 3 minutes. I thought that was, if you're talking about which individual stretch was the key one, I would put that from Malik in there.
Yeah, and you mentioned him sticking with it. He was only 1 of 8 from the field in the first half. Totally turns around in the second half and becomes that go-to player. We haven't even talked about it yet. The switch in the starting lineup to put Malik back to the bench, I thought that was a big kind of a shift in mindset, maybe, where you start Anthony Leal. Who was it? Trey Galloway? Not even Trey Galloway. It was Anthony Leal, Mbako, Luke Goody, Umar Ballo. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then, so totally, you take Miles Rice off the floor, put him on the bench, put Malik Renew on the bench to start the game. We just have not seen that major shift before from Mike Woodson. And then in the second half, he starts another new lineup. He doesn't go back to the original starters, something we have not seen in the first 3.5 years of Mike Woodson. He comes with, the players that best 5 that were playing started the second half.
Yeah. Which I think, I have to go back and look, but I don't recall him doing that. Woodson is, these 5 start the game, these 5 start the second half, and he made a change. And it was interesting because, okay, it's now official, it's public, he's not coming back. He goes to a 2-3 zone, which he doesn't really like doing. He planned it, used it, changed the starting lineup, and like you said, a pretty significant philosophical way. And those things really worked. They got Indiana a really, really big upset. I did think Ballo had some really good moments, and obviously you go for 14-12 on the road, especially at Michigan State. That's a pretty good game.
Yeah, the 12-7 in the first half really stood out. Obviously, the foul trouble slowed him down a little bit in the second half, and that gave Malik the opportunity to step up because he had to go to the bench with 4 fouls. Malik comes in. You're kind of wondering, at one point, did he put Ballo back in the game because he was playing so well? But that's when Renew steps up, scores those 9 points, gets IU to its biggest lead of the game. And those 2, I thought, really rescued IU.
Yeah. Those were the key individual performances. And just kind of like a footnote in a way, I suppose, Mike Woodson hasn't talked about, him not returning everything. Everybody knows what's going on. IU made the decision of not coming back. They raised in retirement, blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows that. He did mention tonight that he said, and I believe this is the quote, I'll double check, but I think he said, it's tough on them. He said, they know I'm not going to be back. It's tough on me and it's tough on them. So he did, for the first time, sort of say something. It's not much, but he did say that. He also said, hey, we got games to play. I want these guys to experience the NCAA tournament. We've still got the Big Ten tournament. Let's try to go to the Big Ten tournament, win it, and go from there. Now, are those things that are high percentage likely outcomes? Of course not. But for the first time, he kind of talked about the fact that he definitely won't return. Words came out of his mouth to say that. And he said we got stuff to play for. Malik said the same thing. Obviously, it's going to be tough, but they did sort of at least touch on it for the first time.
Well, this is going a little bit different path here, but to talk about their NCAA tournament hopes, now you get 3 home games, UCLA, Purdue, and Penn State. You win those 3, you're really in the NCAA tournament picture, despite all the things that have gone on in this season. You win 2 of those 3, especially if it's Purdue and UCLA, you're still in the hunt. I mean, for everything that has gone on this season, for IU to be in the hunt is a shock to most people, but they are still in it. Like, it's a low percentage, but they are in the picture.
They are. And this is obviously a quad 1 win, and depending upon how Michigan State finishes, there's a chance it's a quad 1A win. So that certainly could help you for any team to win in this building. Like you said, the Purdue win sitting out there, that could be really meaningful to the metrics. So it is interesting. And I know a lot of people sometimes when we talk about this, they look at this, oh, IU's not very good. They shouldn't be in the NCAA tournament. Don't forget, the contract says you got to put 68 teams in the tournament. There are going to be some teams in the NCAA tournament that you look at and go, how are they in there? And on paper, with the number of games Indiana has left to play, number of quad one opponents that they have, there is mathematically a chance. As crazy as that sounds. Anyway, we'll get this wrapped up. For Trevor Andershock, I'm Jeff Rabjohns from Peegs.com.